Yo guys, so welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about why overexposure is so dangerous for your trading. This was a question that I got asked and I thought, yeah, let me make a video on it. Now I'm going to go through like 8 different points and reasonings as to why it's dangerous and just go over it like the normal style of my videos. So let's just get straight into it. And in the next slide I'm going to show you 2 pictures and I want you to name something in the image, just 3 things from the 2 images. So take 5-10 seconds to name something from the image. What can you see? And you probably can't. So this is what I think when someone tells me overexposure, this is what comes to mind. It's when there's so much going on and it's like what are you even looking at? What can you even see? And this is how I view it. So the first point as to why overexposure is dangerous is, overwhelming information. You know, Trying to learn too much at once, it can make it difficult to focus on the basics, and it also leads to confusion and inability to apply those key concepts effectively. Now, when you come into trading, you want to learn the basics, okay? And that's, market structure, let's just say this, that, and however concept you trade, I'm not like one to say, oh, this way is right, this way is wrong. There's many different concepts and many different ways of trading, but your aim is to focus on the basics. And when you kind of overexpose yourself and you try to learn too much, you kind of lose track of the basics, and that leads to confusion because a lot of people think that when you come into trading, I need to learn everything, I need to know every single concept, I need to know how to do this, I need to know how to do that, and they just overcomplicate it for themselves and they become overwhelmed. And it's like, damn, I know so much, but I can't, I struggle to apply it. That is a big problem with people. So that's one point. It's the overwhelming amount of information that you gain from overexposing. You're watching every single ICT video, and then you're watching every single video of this guy, and then you're watching every single video of that guy. It's just way too much information, and it's not needed. You need to keep your system simple and focus on the basics only. Because there are some deep rabbit holes that you can go down. In terms of even ICT, and like there's so much depth you can go into concepts, and it's not really needed. Like I remember in my journey, I used to try to learn everything, and then I got to a point where I was realizing half the stuff I learned and half the stuff I've learned in my career I don't even use. So it's like, why did I learn all this? And it goes back to this point, some people just learn way too much, and then it's just too overwhelming for them and they become lost in a maze. Now, I could say a lot about this point, but it's kind of spread out, so I don't wanna, I wanna go into that. Now, this is the second point: paralysis by analysis. Now, when you know so much, it becomes a problem because you know so many different systems. This guy's making 10k a month with this one, this guy's making 100k a month with that one, so it becomes way too much, and you kind of like, it's like a consistent comparison, and you think this strategy is not perfect, so you try this one, you try that one, and it becomes too much because you know so much. 50 different strategies. When it comes to properly trading and doing it for yourself, you kind of struggle because you're just paralyzed by all the analysis that so it becomes way too overwhelming and way too much for you. And like no single strategy will feel perfect for you. You'll try this one, it'll work for a bit, but then because another system that's apparently making 80% win rate, you'll try that strategy because apparently this one's better, and you're in that constant loop of thinking, oh, I need to learn more. I need to try this, I need to try that. Maybe this system's better than that system. Because you know so much and you know so many different systems, you never really know which is the best for you, and you can't really settle for one. That's a lot of problem people think. People try this indicator or that indicator or this and that, and it just leads to too much confusion and hesitation. And because as a trader, you're unsure which is, what to trust. You don't know if this works for you, if that works for you. So that is why it's very dangerous. And I haven't really spoken about solutions to this, but solutions is really just to cut down, and I'll try to get into that in the end. But this is the next point. Which is inconsistent learning. When you're learning so much and you know so much and you're just overexposed to so much information, you're seeing stuff on Twitter, you're seeing stuff on YouTube, it leads to inconsistent learning. because you're jumping between topics and strategies, and it prevents you from mastering one approach. And again, the lack of depth leads to superficial knowledge. So what I mean by that is, because you know so much, you're not really able to focus and, like, hone in on one, two certain topics. You're trying to master everything. So it's inconsistently learning, because you think that, okay, I need to learn everything and become a master at everything. But I know many, many people who know so much about the markets, they know everything, but yet they struggle to actually apply it. They're good with words and describing it, but when it comes to actually applying it into the market, they struggle, and that's the inconsistent learning. It's like you can learn all about tax and all about accountancy, but when it comes to properly doing accountants and doing your tax, you don't know how to do it because you didn't really focus. You're focusing on too much. So that's how it is with trading. you know it's not consistent learning. Consistent learning would be picking one system one way and sticking to that, and really focusing on that. But this way, people are just learning every single thing. They feel like that one day they're just going to learn everything, and boom, they're going to wake up and that's it, and they know how to trade. That's not how it is. The more you learn, the more dangerous it is. And also, for example, let's say this week I learn about order blocks, and then I'm thinking, wow, this really works. And then next week I see a video and I'm like, whoa, what's this? This is a new topic. And then I go learn that topic, and then I've already forgotten about order blocks. And you just keep jumping and jumping, trying to learn more. And you're thinking, yeah, I'm learning more. I'm a genius. But in reality, you're not really learning much. You're not even able to apply what you're learning. Yes, you may be knowledgeable, but you can't apply it. So I don't want to keep waffling, but I hope this point made sense. And the third point is burnout and fatigue. When you absorb so much information, it can be exhausting, and it reduces that enthusiasm and energy for trading. For some people, they have that enthusiasm, but they're not learning the right thing. They're just going ham, 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 and they're not really learning what they need to. And that leads to burnout and fatigue, and it's not what you need. A good analogy I like to give is, when you go to the gym, if you go to the gym and just do every single exercise, you're going to get burnout, and it's not really going to do much to you. When you go to the gym, you know what exercises you're going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know how many reps you're going to do. And over time, that 1 or 2 hours a day in the gym compounds into proper results. If you go in the gym every day, spend 4 hours, do 50 million reps, it's not really going to do much, and it'll just fatigue you. You'll have burnout, you'll be tired, you won't be wanting doing stuff. So this is why it's dangerous to be overexposed and just learning everything, because it's just going to be way too much, and it's not needed. You don't need to learn everything in the markets to, make it. So that's it on burnout and fatigue. And if you are feeling burnout and fatigue from anything, from your system and from learning, maybe ask yourself, why am I learning too much? Is all this knowledge I'm trying to obtain really beneficial? And the answer is maybe it's not. You don't need to learn everything. Trading should be as simple as you can. If you're making it very difficult and you're making it all this technical and it's too much for you, then you're doing something wrong. So yeah, I hope that made sense on the burnout and fatigue point. This point, mistakes due to misunderstanding. Now, overloading yourself can cause misinterpretations of key principles, and you misunderstand concepts, and that can lead to errors. So again, it's similar to what I was saying. When you learn so much, you're not really learning it properly. And you might not, you may learn it, but you might not be able to apply it. So you kind of forget the principles, and you vaguely learn it, or you're too excited that you don't really understand it properly, and you just try to apply it, and you're not really applying the information properly. And the reason why it's dangerous is not because you're doing it wrong, it's because you're wasting time. You could be spending 10 hours a week learning all this rubbish and just applying it, and just wasting hours of your time and your journey when you could be actually doing efficient stuff. So that's that point. The next point is lack of practical application. Like I was saying, I'm not really going to go into, I've said it a lot. You have that lack of really putting it into work. When you've learned everything and you don't, you're watching 10 million gurus, 10 million different ways, you're not really applying it well. You know so much, but you can't really apply it. How many people are watching this and they feel like that? They know so much about the markets, but they can't apply it. It's because that's a symptom of overexposure. You know so much, but you find it hard to apply it because you know so much. That's the reason why. That's why it's so important that you stick to what works for you, and you try to make it as simple as you can, and as as little things in your trading as you can, just to make it simple for yourself. Because when you know so much, it's just too much. You can't apply everything to the market. Even ICT has said himself, I will teach you everything, but it's your job to pick out what works for you. He doesn't say pick out everything and go apply it. It's what works for you, and then you apply it. you know and it's kind of hard because in school you're brought up and you're taught to learn everything and to apply everything to life, but in this it's like you learn everything you need to learn and apply what works for you. Yeah, it's not learn everything, apply everything. It's learn as much as you can. You don't have to learn everything. You can even learn the basics and make that work. But it's learn what you can and apply what works for you. Not learn what you can and apply everything you learn. Because most of the stuff that I've learned and a lot of the stuff that people learn, half the stuff you don't use. I'll mention things from ICT like CBDR, daily range, this and that. How many of you use that on a day-to-day basis? A lot of people, most people do not use this stuff. Yes, you learn it and yes, it's good, but it's not stuff you're always going to learn and try to apply. And when you try to force that into your system, you try to force these ideas that you've learned, it's just too much. Doesn't work. So the next point is false confidence. And this isn't like a really big point, but it's dangerous in terms of you have this ego. You think that, oh, I know so much, I'm a clever, I know what I need to do, and really and truly you're not doing anything. You're not getting nowhere. People, you're back testing 10 hours a week, you're thinking, yeah, I'm working hard, I'm grinding, but in reality it's not really doing much. You're not really progressing. You're just moving in a line rather than going up. You see what I'm saying? Because you've learned so much and you're trying to apply so much, and it's just, you'll get to a point where you finally burn out and you're realizing, like, I'm not getting nowhere. I know all this knowledge, but I'm getting nowhere. And that learns, it goes back to that fatigue and whatnot. And it could lead to having that confidence and taking unnecessary trades and risk, and being on a funded account. And obviously, yes, you can learn that way, but it can just lead to unnecessary losses and just a waste of money and whatnot. Because you think you know so much and you think you're a market genius, and the markets will always humble you. Now, I think this is one of the last points, but it's the loss of focus on core skills. A lot of people, once they learn technical analysis, they focus on that too much. They think analysis is the holy grail. They think, once I learn all this analysis, I'm going to be an amazing trader. I'm going to know everything. I'm going to kill the markets. I'm going to make money, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the truth. Analysis is just a small part of it, a very small part. The rest comes down to the risk management, the discipline, the patience, dealing with losses, dealing with drawdowns. That's what makes you a trader, and that's what makes you the profit, and that's how you get to where you want to be. All these people have this idea. It's because it's so glorified. Technical analysis is so glorified, so people just want to chase it. People want to be masters and know everything about technical analysis. But the truth is, it's not really that important. I know people who trade the most simple ideas and make it work. I don't know. I can't name one guy who trades complex and does blah, 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 does 10 different ways. Everyone I know who's consistent and a proper trader does it simple. So this is one of the key ones as well. The loss of that focus on the core skills. Everyone, this is a common problem and theme in many, many people. That everyone's so lost. Everyone thinks that analysis is the holy grail. Everyone's teaching analysis. Come join me. Let me teach you my new strategy. How I made 10k this month. Yeah, that's all good. But people are in this kind of this state, and they think that one day their system's just going to boom and it's just going to click. Everything's going to work out for them. It's not the truth. Because if that was the truth, everyone would just be killing it. You could just watch a 5-minute video on this holy grail strategy. Boom. But that's not the truth. That's not how it's done. So I hope this video made sense. This was just kind of the cons on overexposure to knowledge and to things, because a lot of people think that, if you know a lot about trading, then you must be a master. It's not the truth. The best people are the ones that keep it simple. They know what they're doing. All they want is egg and milk every day. That's it. Egg and milk makes you sick, I think. But I'm just saying, it's the people that keep it simple. It's not the people who want turkey with egg and chicken and strawberries and this for breakfast. It's those people who want the consistent, the same, the simple things. And people are gonna learn the hard way. If you don't take this message and cut down on overexposing yourself to stuff, then you will learn the hard way. Because with me, I don't watch videos on technical analysis anymore, and you don't need to. Once you have a system and you're comfortable with it and it works for you, it's about building that and building yourself into the trader you want to be. You having a system and trying to watch more stuff and gain more knowledge and add more stuff is just gonna mess you up. You don't need to add more stuff to it. It's like knowing how to brush your teeth and then you try to do this and do that, and keep it simple. If you have a system, if you know what you're doing, build on that, work on that, work on yourself to build that psychology instead of the system. Stop chasing this thing of, I need to learn system, I need to learn analysis. Bro, it's stupid. Every day people are learning analysis, making videos on technicals, this and that. Like, everything you need to know is already on YouTube for free. It's out there. Most of you who watch this, and you already know the basics of trading, you can already build yourself a proper system. But yeah, a lot of people still think, no, I need to learn more, I need to backtest more. Why don't you focus on yourself more and focus on becoming a better trader? I'm talking about the self, rather than focus on technicals, and then see a difference. Because some of you are so focused on technicals and you're getting nowhere. So why don't you stop that and say, okay, I'm focusing on technicals, I'm getting nowhere. So why don't I try to focus on myself and see where I get? And then maybe you'll see a change in your trading. So I hope that made sense. Maybe some of the points didn't really make sense, but it's just telling you why. Like, you don't need to know everything in trading. You just need to know the basics, and don't overexpose yourself, and don't watch all these gurus and learn all these different ways and different new order blocks. I know people who are still watching ICT. If you have a system, stop watching the guy. You don't need to watch him anymore. All you need to do is learn the basics. Stop watching him. There's no need. People think, oh no, it's good, I'm learning more. It's not needed. If you have something that works, just keep it. That's the way I see it. I don't understand why people have to complicate themselves. Again, I'm gonna end the video here. If you have any messages, you can always message me. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and peace.